Located just 14 miles from downtown Atlanta, Chamblee is a vibrant urban city with a diverse community and international flair. The City of Chamblee began as a small rail town and was incorporated in 1908. Through multiple annexations, the city has grown to more than 7 square miles and 29,000 residents. The downtown district has experienced significant commercial development, including Lawson townhomes since 2000, while maintaining its vintage buildings and architecture. In 2001, the City of Chamblee completed one of Atlanta Regional Commission's first livable centers initiative. The LCI plan has seen 2 5-year updates and 1 10-year update, which has cultivated innovative ideas for the city such as the rail trail, spurred the Buford Highway LCI, and planted the seed for the downtown Chamblee Town Center plan. In 2018, the City of Chamblee partnered with the DDA, Downtown Development Authority, and adopted a plan to transform the historic downtown district into a more complete town center with new public spaces, amenities, and a mix of commercial and residential development. This redevelopment is a public-private partnership to leverage existing public assets to create an attractive, market-based destination that will enhance the environment, create jobs, improve mobility, and be sustainable throughout the years. As many of these recommendations have come to fruition, like the new public safety building, we are embarking on the next step to the future of Chamblee with the construction of a new city hall. This new building will spark the change within the town center development.
The current City Hall was built when the city had a much smaller footprint and population. So we've actually outgrown this facility. In addition, the space that we have at the Civic Center for public use has really become quite dated, and the facility is difficult to maintain. So this new City Hall will provide a much larger, more open and newer space for community gatherings, as well as more space for staff for the city. On top of that, we're currently having our concerts in the parking lot of the City Hall. And this new building will come with a town green that we will be able to host events year-round on. Whether it's a concert or a market, we plan on having these events, and it'll be much more appealing and a much better atmosphere for those events.
So the building we're sitting in here right now is relatively new as City Hall, and it was built back in the early 2000s. Back then, the City of Chamblee was about 3.5 square miles and about 9,800 residents. We went through a couple of larger annexations in 2010, 2013, which tripled the size of the city to about 8.5 square miles and roughly 30 to 32,000 residents. Plus, with a lot of organic growth that we've seen in the city with more densely populated areas, more people moving to the city. Our staff has increased in size, and so the decision was made on the City Council that we needed to have more space, more room for our staff and for visitors to the city. So we chose to build a new City Hall.
Right now, we're kind of scattered all over the city. We have the development department down the road. We have a lot of people kind of crammed into a tight spot, and I think this new City Hall will give us a gathering spot for the fun things like concerts, food truck, festivals, that kind of stuff, but will also give us the central gathering spot when we have different business needs that need to be met by people getting things like business licenses and building permits, and those kind of things.
Well, the biggest reason that a new building is needed is because the city has grown. When this building was built, I think we had 8,000, between 7,000 and 9,000 residents in Chamblee. And since then, we've had 2 annexations and have come now to a total of over 30,000 residents.
We also have a more quiet park planned for the side of the building, more of a reflective area. And we have actually a lot of green space built into the building on the roof of the building. So those are some exciting features. The council chambers themselves will be an upgrade, and we will be able to accommodate a lot more people in a better fashion than we currently can, much better acoustics as well, which leads to the fact that we'll be able to have better taped meetings that we can play on our YouTube channel and Facebook channels.
The new City Hall will benefit the community in a multitude of different ways. First, and I think as important as any others, it will be more user-friendly than the current City Hall. As I've mentioned before, we've outgrown the City Hall that I'm sitting in here today, and with all the new residents and businesses we have within our city, and a lot of people needing to come to City Hall to conduct business, this new City Hall has been designed with the consumer and the customer, if you will, in mind. The folks that need to come into the city, whether it be to pull a business license or pay their occupational tax or get a permit to develop something in the city, it'll be very customer friendly. Secondly, there is a large community room that is being added to our new City Hall that will be adjacent to our council chambers, and that room will be used for various different activities. Another thing that's very beneficial in the new City Hall is currently we hold court and city council meetings in the same building in our civic center. Our new public safety facility that we're about ready to cut a ribbon on has a dedicated space for court to take place, and this will give us a dedicated place for city council meetings to take place. And I think that'll be less confusing to some of the folks in the public what the space is used for. And then finally, I think that the new City Hall is really going to be a beacon for our new town center development. Chamblee really has not enjoyed having a true defined town center in the history of the city. We're working very hard to create a town center, a place where people really want to congregate, gather, go to festivals, enjoy their time. And the City Hall is going to act as a beacon, really an iconic structure that will be the heart of that new town center plan.
And we do not have the room to house the necessary staff that we need to run a city of that size. We decided that it would be a good idea also to move the police building, public service building, because that needs to be bigger as well. And we decided to move it to Buford Highway on the old Hearn property because we have annexed all of what's south of that site, and it helps us to move closer to part of our population than we are here.
We put a lot of thought into how we were going to create our town center. And one of the things we determined was that public safety facilities, typically around the country in smaller cities, are not in the town center area. They're typically moved somewhere outside of the town center. But your City Hall really is the key, the anchor of your town center area. So we chose to move the public safety facility over on Buford Highway for a couple of reasons. One, it makes a large investment into an area that was annexed into the city and helps us to start spreading some of that economic development opportunities around the city by putting a large investment in that area. And that's a very good use of the property over off of Buford Highway for public safety facility. But for the City Hall, we really felt like it really belonged as the anchor for our town center. As you will see in many other small communities, you'll see the City Hall as being the key place and the anchor for the town center area.
Well, we're really excited about the public safety building on Buford Highway, and that's opening up soon, and we can't wait to show that facility to everyone. That is an anchor for Buford Highway. It's the first city investment in the area with regards to a building, and we think it's going to really bring our presence to Buford Highway and our officers are so excited to be part of the community. The City Hall, we feel like, serves the same purpose of anchoring the town center plans. And so having those two campuses reaching out to our community is important to us.
The new City Hall will become the very center of our downtown Chamblee. It will help to create an incredible presence that doesn't exist yet because of the empty buildings that we have around here and things like that. It's well-known fact now that we have a summer concert series, and that has outgrown the space that we have. The new City Hall is going to incorporate space for our summer concert series. It's going to incorporate space for much better space for our council meetings and things like that. It's going to enable the development department to not be removed from the core of the city, and the development and planning department is essential to how our city turns out as it develops. So I think that all of those things, I think that it will enable our citizens to feel more connected to the workings of the city and feel more, less afraid, less shy about going to City Hall and getting to know the people that actually serve.
The new City Hall will be a central gathering spot and will show the business community that the City of Chamblee is putting down permanent roots in a significant way downtown. And it's said many times that private investment follows public investment, and I believe the significant investment in both the Beaufort Highway and police station location and the new City Hall will show the community that Chamblee is putting down even stronger roots than it already has, and give more gap.
The City Hall is the anchor for the Town Center plan. The Town Center plan has office and retail and some new residential units in the mix. It envisions having more population in this area of the city, as well as more retail shops for people to visit and restaurants. I think the City Hall really anchors that with a strong office component, being that all of the city staff will be there every day, and you'll have the visitors coming to City Hall. But on top of that, it's going to have that architectural feature that people will appreciate and want to be around.
The current City Hall, we've had a lot of discussions about what we thought we could do with this building that I'm in here right now. But we've settled on what I believe is going to be a great use for this City Hall, and that is an arts center / welcome center. And we've recently commissioned a new arts council. A couple of our city council members have been very instrumental in helping us to get that off the ground. And the Arts Council has been very helpful in helping to determine the future use of this building. But I think you'll see it adaptively reused into something that serves the arts community, arts for the entire community, as well as a welcoming center for the City of Chamblee.
So our design process was to get everyone engaged. Projects are more successful when you have the buy-in of everyone. So we created what we called our PATH process, which is our project approach theory. And the most important thing that comes out of PATH is getting a vision statement. Our vision statement was crafted with everyone's input, and it's the criteria by which we make decisions. So our vision statement allows us to get stakeholder engagement, allows us to stay focused, and allows us to create the vision.
City Hall building was really developed during COVID, and we wish we could have had a little bit more public input, to be honest. But when we started the process, we did have some design charrettes, and you couple that with the town center design charrettes, which were conducted over the previous 2 years. We really had a sense of what the community wanted in terms of elements and features of the town center area and the City Hall. So we took those and built those into the City Hall as we moved through the process. Unfortunately, we had our first meeting on the City Hall, and we went into COVID. And with that, we weren't able to have the more open meetings that we were hoping to have. We did have several meetings on Zoom so that we can move this project forward, and I think those were very successful. But it was something where we took the time to go back to the town center, the community engagement we did with the town center, to pull those elements into this building.
So sustainability was at the forefront of the design. It's very important to the City of Chamblee. It's very important to Goodwood Mills and Kaywood. We looked at several different rating systems to be able to challenge ourselves, and Earthcrafters was where we landed.
The police department and the Civic Center sites are going to be fenced, and you're going to have those construction trucks coming into those sites from Broad Street and Beachfront Boulevard. So there will be an impact. Keeping in mind that we also expect there to be an impact when the town center project starts, when they begin to build the office buildings and residential and retail across the street as well. And we don't have a date for that yet. So this project is probably the beginning of a year and a half to 2.5 years of construction in this area. But I think we're going to really be happy with the product.
Be an incredible icon, and it also speaks to the energy that is happening in Chamblee. It speaks to our past because it is going to have an industrial element to it, an industrial feel, but it speaks to the present and to the future because it's going to be very cool and very approachable by our citizens and very usable by our citizens as well as staff and council. So I think, and it will be something that people will be so proud of, and just really it will represent the vibe that is being created and it's happening on its own in the City of Chamblee.
Well, I'm very excited about our new City Hall. First of all, my hat's off to the City Council, to our staff, to our community for having the vision to get us to this point where we are going to build a new City Hall in our town center. I'm most excited for the fact that it is going to help us continue on that path of creating a town center. Chamblee's never really enjoyed having a center, downtown, town center area. Chamblee was originally, a rail stop, and then it became a military town, an industrial park, and never really had that true, you might see in some of the communities as the old-fashioned town square. And what's really exciting about the City Hall is it allows us to make a substantial investment into our town center, and I truly believe that private investment follows public investment, and it shows the investment community and those folks in our in our business and residential community here. The Chamblee is very serious about creating this town center, this sense of place, and that's what gets me really excited about our new City Hall.
I will just say that we are very excited about the project. We, the city, feel like this is going to be an iconic building that really, the community will love. It brings that public space with that green space and plaza area that people can gather and have that sense of community. So we're really happy about it. Excited to get started, and honestly, just wish it could happen today.